Ooh, what's up, nerds and geeks? My name is OMG WTF LOL FTW BRB. Welcome back to Total Extreme Wrestling versus the WWE, where we take the weekly shows, the weekly events that the WWE runs, and we book it the exact same way in Total Extreme Wrestling and see just how well WWE can do against TEW, or if TEW will be the one company that puts WWE to rest once and for all. This is the Superstar Shakeup edition of Smackdown, so we are actually getting pretty close to catching up. So we won't. Once we catch up, it won't be these videos uploaded so often. I said that when we first did this, that I'm going to be trying to catch up pretty quickly, but we're almost there. For those of you guys watching this video in, I didn't even click anything. How did that pop up? For those of you guys watching this video in the future, we pretty much are only behind one show as of right now. We have the Monday Night Raw to book after the Superstar Shakeup, and then actually no, we're two shows because this is Wednesday. So pretty much I have all the shows for next week to book, and then we should be caught up. But there might be a little bit of a problem there. But like I said, I'm gonna be making an update video, so I'll cover that when we get to that. Oh, get out of here, you stupid McAfee virus scan, stupid ass thing. Either way, let's go ahead and run this show. Last week's SmackDown did pretty average. This is going to be the first SmackDown of after we edited everybody's popularity and all that. And before I do jump in, I do want to say one thing. Someone made a comment saying that pretty much that I should be using like Flesh's mod right now because he rates people better. One, I've already started this series, so I'm not going to go back and download a different mod and restart the series. And two, I've already gone in myself and edited the wrestlers to where I see them fit. So this is WWE in my eyes. So even though some of the things that the Who 87 did is probably still the same, that's most likely because I agreed with what his viewpoints is. So there you have that. Unfortunately, as well, we are stuck in the Mandalay Bay Event Center because, well, that's where 205 Live was. And because we hired local talent for that night, we're forced to stay in this. I didn't even think about that. So for now on, I'm going to have to pretty much put 205 Live in the arena that SmackDown's going to be in. So now that we've gotten all out of the way, we have our first opening segment of the night, which is just a recap from last week on Shinsuke Nakamura's actions against AJ Styles during the match against Daniel Bryan. When Shinsuke comes out and pretty much low blow, or no, he didn't low blow AJ. He hit the Kinshasa on Bryan, costing AJ the match, and then he low blowed Styles pretty much. B- rated segment here. I gotta remember to download that Snopes mod too, where we can see both the grade and the number. I keep forgetting to do that. I'm too focused on trying to catch up that I keep forgetting to add some things in here. Alright, and then we jump into a C- rated angle here as AJ Styles comes out. He opens up the show pretty much talking about Shinsuke's actions and what he's going to do to him once he gets his hands on him and whatnot. He is pretty much, he tells Shinsuke, come on out, let's do this now. He doesn't get Shinsuke Nakamura. He gets Aiden English, who comes out there, and he informs us that today is Rusev Day. He also rapped a little bit, but I prefer his singing. Aiden English comes out. He pretty much lays the challenge out for Rusev. AJ Styles accepts the challenge and he says, let's do this right here. And Rusev's no counter, so he comes down counter. He's no coward, so he comes down there and pretty much the match starts right there and then. Aiden English not suited to his gimmick. I wonder if we're changing that right now. And we are hitting at the face turn for Rusev and Aiden English, but I'm not going to pull the trigger quite yet because I'm honestly waiting for it. Even though the fans are cheering for Rusev, WWE still books him as a heel. Either way, AJ Styles was the real star in this segment, and we have a couple of changes. We're not going to change his gimmick to, or change his to a face yet, but we are going to change his gimmick from a realistic lackey to a comedic lackey. So hopefully that helps him out a little bit. Yes, I want to complete the gimmick change. Okay, it got an average rating. That's not bad. We're not completing the turn yet though. So Aiden English is now average at his gimmick instead of not being suited to it. We jump into the matchup, which isn't much of a match at all. C- rating here. Honestly, this was below a minute. I think it was a minute. The reason it got 2 minutes is because, as usual, once I'm done booking the show, I'm normally left with time after, so I have to fill it up by giving certain things certain times. Normally, I like to make it even numbers or maybe a 5 minute instead of like a 4 minute or something. So that's why this has a 2 minute. But either way, this was a very short match where AJ Styles goes on to defeat Rusev after he's disqualified when Aiden English runs in and attacks AJ. When it looks like he's about to win rather quickly after locking Rusev in the, I think it's cattle mutilation, but I'm not quite sure. I don't think it's that actually, now that I think about it. I believe that's a completely different submission move. I think he was using the calf crusher. That's what I'm thinking. But Aiden English broke it up there for AJ Styles. Couldn't beat him right there and then. Styles had an in-ring performance of a B+, Rusev with a C rated. Styles is also improving in performance skills. And no, we are not going to turn Aiden English just yet. We then jump into a solid C-rated angle here as Rusev Day, Rusev and Aiden English continue to beat down on AJ Styles, which then leads to Daniel Bryan racing down to the ring and making the save for AJ Styles as the two men pretty much battle Rusev and Aiden English off. It'll be revealed a little bit later on that that'll be our main event, a tag team match between Styles and Bryan versus Rusev Day. Nope, still not turning anybody just yet. Let me just double check that it's not a gimmick. No, okay. So we're not turning anybody just yet here. We then jump back to yet another solid C-rated segment here as we have Shane McMahon backstage who's, watching TV, of course, looking all excited and whatnot. And that leads to the new general manager of Smackdown Live, Paige, to come in and they have a little bit of a talk. Going back and forth. Shane's pretty much congratulates Paige on a good performance last week, and she says she's going to keep it up tonight. And, in classic Teddy Long fashion, playa, we're going to have a tag team match. And she goes, that was a funny line, actually. She goes ahead and makes, the match I just mentioned, Bryan and Styles versus Aiden and Rusev. We also get a little bit of a hype up for The Miz as well after this angle, where it's hyping up that The Miz is now on Tuesday Night SmackDown or SmackDown Live. And Paige continues with the Teddy Long jokes in this segment. She does like some holla holla thing, which, as she leaves, it leads to Shane McMahon doing the Teddy Long dance, and then Paige comes back in. Shane's all embarrassed, and Paige is like, "Ooh, I probably shouldn't have seen that." And I'm just like, "Paige, didn't you just do the dance? Like, why is it so weird that Shane McMahon does the dance but you don't?" Like, I didn't get it. I thought that was dumb. But nonetheless, we have our main event made for the night. What are these changes here? Oh, Rusev still. Get the fuck out of here. Ooh, solid E-rated segment here. What is this, 205 Live? Solid E segment hyping up the Melibration, Carmella's title win later on tonight. No worker improvements. Why would there be? All right, we then jump into a C- rated angle. I honestly thought this would do better. Get the fuck out of here. This is a whole new computer, guys. So I have a lot of pop-ups and shit right now. Of course, I have to, fix a lot of things on this computer, get my virus scan back and all that, but I really don't have the money right now. I'm going to be going on a trip next week. I'm going to Vegas, so I have to wait. So my apologies if anything pops up. You're going to have to ignore that. There's a lot of things popping up. I have one thing that keeps popping up where it's like, "Oh, you should update your computer because, by October or something, you're not going to be able to receive these critical updates." But it wants to take like 12 gigabytes of my laptop. And I'm like, nah, this laptop doesn't have a lot of space on it already. I'm not letting you have 12 gigabytes of what I have. You're going to only leave me like 4 or 5 or whatever as after that. So, not happening. Fucking thing popped up on my video, like directly in the center, too. Like, get the fuck out of here. That's funny. Either way, C- rated segment here. I honestly thought this would have done better considering Orton and Jeff Hardy are in this angle. And Shelton's kind of over as well. But no. Shelton Benjamin, he comes out. They, show his little tweet where he pretty much wishes Chad Gable the best of luck on Monday Night Raw. He then counters that tweet by saying someone must have hacked his Twitter account because he would never say anything like that. And he's glad to be rid of Chad Gable, and he never needed Chad Gable in the first place. And now he wants to be given some real opportunities here on SmackDown, some championship opportunities. And he issues an open challenge to anyone on the SmackDown roster, which then leads to Randy Orton initially accepting the challenge. As he makes his way down to the ring, you can kind of tell it's obvious that, he's stalling because he kind of stood in the center of the, entryway for like a good couple of seconds. I'd say at least maybe like 30 seconds or whatnot. Just kind of waiting for Jeff Hardy's music to hit. And finally, Jeff Hardy's music does hit, and out comes the new United States champion after beating Jinder Mahal on Monday Night Raw when Mahal was drafted over to Raw. So now Jeff Hardy is bringing the United States Championship back over to SmackDown as he is the second person to be revealed for the Superstar Shakeup. Miz, of course, is the first. C- rated segment here as we get ready for our match between Jeff Hardy and Shelton Benjamin. Randy Orton apparently was really good. And there you have it. Also, that kind of started the storyline between Jeff and Orton. Jinder Mahal... No, this didn't start the storyline. This was started on Monday Night Raw because Jinder Mahal is technically in this storyline as well. But I'm not sure where they're going with it. Hell, Shelton should probably be a part of this storyline too because he might be in this feud. So I don't know where they're going with this feud right now. Either way, we jump into the said matchup here, which gets another C- rating here. Honestly, I thought this was going to do better too. I was expecting at least a C, maybe even a B-. Wow. C- rated segment here. This is pretty much the same as the Jinder Mahal match. That's what surprises me. As we have a bout that had decent wrestling, but not much weight in heat. Jeff Hardy going over Shelton Benjamin after 5 minutes 55 seconds with the twist of fate. Jeff was off his game. Shelton Benjamin with a solid D-rated performance, and Jeff Hardy with a solid C. So, I mean, the performances kind of add up to a C-, but I'm still surprised. I thought this would have done a lot better. Alright, we get a B- segment pretty much hyping up The Miz, and that The Miz will be here. Actually, no, The Miz was on camera for this, because this is his official promo pretty much for SmackDown. He's off screen technically because he's, on the Titantron. He's not in the arena, but he is rated on entertainment here, so that's probably why this did so well. As Miz pretty much, hypes up coming over to SmackDown and how Daniel Bryan wants to punch him in the face, but he's not gonna, or some stuff like that. The real cool thing here is that we get to see Maurice, and Maurice looks really good after just giving birth. Like, were you even pregnant? And we saw Miz's baby girl for the first time ever. Monroe, I believe her name is. So, good promo by The Miz, but that's not surprising because Miz is always great at the promos. And honestly, I think that's a fair rating. It wasn't like the best promo in the world, but a B-. It was still pretty good. Maybe a solid B would have been fine too, but a B- I think is fair enough for that rating. We then go on to a D- rated segment here as we hype up the Melibration, and then we also reveal that coming up next, Jey Uso and one half of the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, Harper, will be in action next. And this starts the Bludgeon Brothers versus Usos story. What a great angle to start it on. Alright, we get a solid E rating again, because, it's 205 Live apparently, as we hype up the fact that Absolution, Mandy Rose, and Sonya Deville are coming to SmackDown. So Absolution pretty much just joins Paige, and the Ruby Riott and her squad end up just swapping places. D- rated segment here as we get the hype for the Bludgeon Brothers versus the Usos at the Greatest Royal Rumble pay-per-view. And then we lead into said matchup. I believe this was during entrances, so as always, I had to kind of put it ahead of time. We lead into the matchup, which gets a D+ rated segment here. Subpar wrestling and little heat. I think that's the first time we've actually seen a match have some heat to it. And little heat, that sounds like a rapper. Harper goes over Jey Uso in 1 minute and 45 seconds after a discus clothesline from a distraction from Eric Rowan. So once again, a very short throwaway matchup here, which sees Harper pretty much just dominate Jey Uso. It really kind of fell apart in the early goings when Rowan went after Jimmy on the outside, which leads to Jey Uso trying to attack Rowan on the outside, but he caught him. That didn't lead to a disqualification, which made me kind of go, why? And then it pretty much fell apart from there as Harper and Rowan just continued to, beat on Jay, and then Rowan, distracted Jay, which led to, Harper getting the discus clothesline. 1, 2, 3, he wins. Jay with a D plus rating alongside Harper, so both are on par with each other, and it gained heat for the feud. Jay Uso's improving in Rumble, and Harper's improving in technical and performance. All right, so we jump into a C minus rated angle here. Doing better. We went from I think it was like a D to a D plus. Now C minus. Good stuff. We freestyle segment, of course. Bludgeon Brothers get their post-match attack on the Usos, pretty much beating them down, which leads to the wife of Jimmy Uso to come out and pretty much make the save as she begs the Bludgeon Brothers off while she goes over to check on Jimmy Uso, who is just sitting against the steel steps after being tossed into it by the Bludgeon Brothers. So she comes to the save, and Harper and Rowan decide, let's get out of here. It's fine. And it'll be interesting to see what Naomi is going to, contribute to this feud, if anything at all. I haven't seen this week's SmackDown or Monday Night Raw yet, so I honestly don't know if she is continuing on, but I assume she is. I believe I added her to this as well. All right, gained heat for that feud as well. We jump into a solid C-rated segment here, just some hype up for our main event of the night between Styles and Bryan taking on Aiden English and Rusev. We also get a little bit of hype for the return of Brock Lesnar this week on Monday Night Raw. So good stuff there. Solid C rating. We're not changing any gimmicks, so might as well just click yes. How? Was Sin Cara rated? I don't know if I rated Sin Cara in this. I probably didn't. But either way, Sin Cara is in the ring. He's ready for in-ring action. And his opponent just so happens to be SmackDown's newest star, Samoa Joe, who makes his way down to the ring. I rated him a menace, so good job there. B minus rated segment here. Very good, guys. Very good for Samoa Joe's debut, who this is really just an entrance. He's not rated on talking or anything. I figured, since it is his first SmackDown entrance, we might as well make an entrance out of it. So B minus rated segment as we jump into said matchup, which gets a D plus. What a jump. What a jump down. D plus rated matchup here, which gets decent wrestling and little heat, as Samoa Joe goes over Sin Cara 2, apparently, because that's Unico under the mask, not Mystico, or Caristico now. He goes over Sin Cara in 2 minutes 47 seconds with the Coquina Clutch submission hold. Sin Cara with a D minus in ring performance. Samoa Joe with a C plus. I believe I had Samoa Joe dominate. No, I just kept him strong, mostly because Sin Cara got a little bit of offense in there, but not a whole lot because it was short. But it wasn't a dominating matchup to where Joe just pretty much beat the living hell out of him. We then jump to a C plus rated segment as Samoa Joe takes the mic after his match, and he puts the whole SmackDown roster on notice, pretty much saying that he's gonna, what did he say? He's going to pretty much take out, I don't remember the exact thing he said on Daniel Bryan, but he's going to take out Daniel Bryan, pull the fangs off of Randy Orton, something about AJ Styles again. He pretty much, talks about how he's going to take them all out. And then he also puts over the fact that he's going to go to the greatest Royal Rumble, beat The Miz, beat Seth Rollins, beat Finn Balor in that ladder match to become the Intercontinental Champion, and he's going to go to Backlash, and hopefully Roman Reigns will show up to Backlash with the Universal title in his grasp so he can beat Roman Reigns at Backlash for the Universal Championship and bring the IC and the Universal title over to SmackDown. C plus rated segment. Apparently it deserved better announcing, but it did get the crowd hotter, so that's good. And it contributed some heat to the IC title feud. All right. Did I click it? Apparently not. All right. There we go. C minus segment rated here as we get yet another hype up for the main event between AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan taking on Rusev Day. And the Melibration is also hyped, and it's next. No. All right, D minus rated segment before we can get to the Melibration. Sanity. Eric Young, Alexander Wolf, and Killian Dane. Apparently, Nikki Cross is not going to be joining Sanity, but Sanity is coming to SmackDown. What do we have here? Oh, this is a turn. Sanity is heel, so I am going to have to turn Eric Young here. It is going to be a disaster, but what can you do? Sanity are heels, unless they get called up to the main roster in our faces, which that'll be really bad. All right, we go to a C- rated segment before we can get to the Melibration again. Jesus. As Renee Young catches up with Daniel Bryan backstage, and she, pretty much asks why did she, or why did Daniel Bryan come to AJ Styles' rescue here? Bryan says, here's an interesting idea. I respect AJ Styles, and he pretty much puts over that AJ Styles is the best, and that he would like to face him again. He then turns around to meet Big Cass, another one of SmackDown's newest superstars, who pretty much looks above him and goes, so you're what all the hype is about? And then he looks down on him finally, and he goes, little man or something, and pretty much starting the storyline here between Daniel Bryan and Big Cass. I really hope this leads to Big Cass kind of being like the bodyguard of the Miz. I think that'll help not only Big Cass, but it would help prolong the feud between Miz and Bryan, because I'm really worried that they're going to give that away on some no-name pay-per-view. They should really wait to at least SummerSlam, but honestly, I would try to hold it off till WrestleMania. Make like Miz WWE champion and have Bryan win the Royal Rumble, and then have that, because that's like main event WrestleMania right there, if you ask me. But either way, a little bit of a tension shown between Big Cass and Daniel Bryan, and that's that C- rated segment. As we jump into nothing, because I didn't press the button. There we go. We jump into a solid D-rated segment here. Honestly, I thought this was going to do really bad. I thought it was going to be one of those E-rated segments. So a solid D, not too shabby. The Melibration begins. She comes out. She hypes up herself and her title win. We get a little bit of a video showing how she got here and whatnot. And Carmella, she cut a pretty good promo. Went on a little bit too long, if you ask me, but still not too bad. She's eventually interrupted by Charlotte, which I thought was going to happen a lot sooner than it did. Charlotte comes out and she pretty much complains about, no, she doesn't complain. Actually, she does something I like. She gives Carmella props and pretty much puts over that, you played the game right. I'm not mad at you, but, you're going to have to face me again for that championship. And that leads to the Iconics coming out, Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, who call Charlotte a crybaby and all that stuff and say, oh, you're not getting your way, pretty much. This leads to Billie Kay, Peyton Royce beating down on Charlotte once again. Oh, no, it doesn't. My bad. Why did I have Becky Lynch come out? Oh, no, it did. It did. I was thinking it was like a post-match thing, because we are leading into a match between Billie Kay and Charlotte. But no, Billie Kay, Peyton Royce, they go to beat down on Charlotte Flair, which leads to Becky Lynch coming out to make the save, and I thought maybe we were going to have a tag team match, but no, we lead into just a one-on-one match between Billie Kay and Charlotte Flair with Peyton Royce and Becky Lynch at ringside, and Carmella on commentary, just watching, not talking though. Charlotte looked good, and it started the storyline between Carmella and Charlotte. All right. So we jump into that said matchup, which gets a D+ rated segment here, and a terrible match. Charlotte Flair goes over Billie Kay in 9 minutes, 56 seconds with the figure 8, with the figure 8 leg lock. Apparently Charlotte was really off her game. Becky Lynch did some good work ringside. Billie Kay with an in-ring performance of an E+, and Charlotte Flair with a C-. Billie Kay made the best of this match as well, as she is improving in technical, flying, and performance skills. All right. We jump into a D- rated segment here as Carmella and the Iconics go ahead and jump Charlotte and Becky Lynch post-match, and they continue to beat down on the two women until Asuka makes her Smackdown debut, as she is revealed to be coming to Smackdown from the Superstar Shakeup, and she makes the save for Becky Lynch and Carmella. All right. My dog is whining. I hope you guys don't hear him whining as loud as he is. C- rated segment as we find out that the Good Brothers, Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, are coming to SmackDown. And then we also get yet another hype-up segment for the AJ Styles-Daniel Bryan tag team match against Rusev Day. No, we aren't turning any gimmicks, but this is for Carl Anderson, who is apparently turning face, but I'm not going to pull that just yet. All right, solid C-rated segment here as we get more hype up segments, this time hyping up some of the matches at the Greatest Royal Rumble, because apparently it'll be Jeff Hardy versus Jinder Mahal at the Greatest Royal Rumble, and Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns in that steel cage match for the Universal Championship. Excuse me. Gained heat for the U.S. title, but lost heat for the Universal title. All right. C- rated segment as we get yet another little random hype thing. But this time, The Bar are revealed to be coming to SmackDown, and they actually cut a little bit of a promo, pretty much putting over the fact that they've beaten everybody on Raw, but everyone's starting to question, oh, but you haven't beaten everyone on SmackDown, and now here they come. C- rated segment there. And then we jump to a solid C rating segment here as the New Day is shown walking backstage doing their normal fun. They run into R-Truth. Truth's now on SmackDown. It's revealed from that. And then Ty Dillinger randomly appears, and it looks like Truth and Dillinger have a little bit of a past, as at first it doesn't look like they like each other, but then they do a very elaborate clap handshake, whatever you want to call those damn things, where it gets the New Day all hyped up and whatnot. And R-Truth is all saying, you know what, I'm so happy to be here on Monday Night Raw. And then all of them look at him and like, come on, Truth, it's SmackDown. Like Big E. Big E was great. He's like, it's SmackDown, Truth, what you doing? And Truth just looks at him and goes, he does my favorite thing ever. I love when R-Truth does this. He does the whole, my bad thing. And then Ty Dillinger asks if Truth is going to be okay, and the New Day just honestly doesn't know. That makes me wonder if we're going to see a team between Truth and Ty Dillinger. But either way, this apparently got the crowd hotter, and apparently R-Truth performed poorly. Truth is improving in acting and performance, though, and Ty Dillinger is learning to show more charisma. D+ rated segment here as we just get some of the Superstar Shakeup results, showing Jeff Hardy, The Miz, Samoa Joe, Big Cass, Asuka, Carl Anderson, and Luke Gallows all coming over to SmackDown. And then we get another little bit of Superstar Shakeup, but this is more of the SmackDown new arrivals because these are the people that came over from NXT. This gets an E- rating as it hypes up the debuts, of course, of the Iconics, Peyton Royce and Billie Kay, and Sanity, Eric Young, Alexander Wolf, and Killian Dane. Before hyping up the debut of this guy and this girl, as Andrade Almas and Selena Vega are coming to SmackDown and they have a little bit of a promo. They should not have been on screen. That was my bad. I should have taken them off screen. But nonetheless, they cut a little bit of a promo pretty much announcing that, yes, they are coming to SmackDown Live. We are going to go ahead and complete this gimmick change for him. And it gets above average. He was, what was it originally? He was an old school heel, and I made him a high society gimmick because, honestly, that's what Andrade almost is kind of right now. So there we have an E+ segment for the former NXT champion and Selena Vega making their way to SmackDown. And then we get a B- rated segment here, hyping up The Undertaker versus Rusev in a casket match at the Greatest Royal Rumble. It's back on. It's no longer Jericho. No. And then finally, our main event of the night gets a C+ rated match. A little bit disappointed. I was hoping it was going to be at least a B, but C+ rated matchup. Probably pretty much guaranteed SmackDown's not going to gain any popularity this time. Decent matchup. AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan do go over Rusev Day, English and Rusev, in 8 minutes 35 seconds. After Aiden English was disqualified when Big Cass ran in and attacked Daniel Bryan. And we also had Shinsuke Nakamura run in and attack Styles. So DQ finish once again, as apparently Aiden English was the weak link, struggling to keep up with everyone else's in-ring performances. Daniel Bryan had a solid B. AJ Styles with a B+, best of the match. Aiden English with an E+, and Rusev with a solid C. Also, the Daniel Bryan and Big Cass gained some heat. Bryan is improving in flying and performance. AJ Styles is improving in technical, and Aiden English is improving in Rumble and performance as well. We then jump into our closing segment of the night, which gets a C+ rating, pretty much just featuring both Big Cass and Shinsuke Nakamura standing over their enemies, AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan. AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan came across well despite selling. Big Cass did not come out of this looking good, but either way, it gained heat for both feuds. And that ends off the show to get us a solid C rating here. Pretty much the same as last week. General feeling is that WWE doesn't have enough interesting storylines going on, so it's no longer my fault. I have allowed all of WWE storylines to start, so now it is on WWE. This show lost its popularity in 23 regions. This is where I'm gonna do my outro for you guys because I gotta go. I gotta go. This ran a little bit of above time, so I'm not gonna do the whole normal shtick. You know what to do. My name's been OMGWTF. LOLTWBRB. Like, comment, subscribe. Check out the Patreon page. Check out some of my associates, and I will see you guys for Monday Night Raw.